What's going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Thanks for being here. Is free speech free? What about hate speech? What about virtue signaling? What about those whiny liberals? Does it matter who you are, where you are, if you're in a bar, from afar? If you're near or far? Whatever. I'll be right back.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more f***ed up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party.
My Little Elmo. That is Still Point, the Don't Unfriend Me band. Yeah, we have a band, folks. We have hats, we have clothes, we have shirts and all that stuff. You can find it. You know where to go. You don't need me to tell you that. Talking about speech, it's crazy out there right now. There's no doubt. The one thing about war is it brings great ratings. The Nielsen ratings say that CBS, ABC, Fox News, CNN, even my show have went up considerably in traffic. But there's one that hasn't, MSNBC. Why? Well, because they're woke. Let's just be honest. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about the facts. They want to spin the narrative. They want to tell you what to think and how to think. These are the same people in college campuses across the U.S., the academia, the faculty, the staff, that also have censored conservative voices all over America. Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, we all know, we've seen it. Jordan Peterson, heck, maybe even I'm played on the airwaves as somebody smashes a radio with a baseball bat, even though I'm not on the radio. Doesn't matter. The point is we know free speech for me, but not for thee. This interview that you're about to see has Andrea Mitchell from MSNBC ask the dumbest questions in the most insensitive way to this mother, and she's had enough. And she's going to tell Andrea Mitchell what she thinks, and she does it oh so well. Let's let her do that. Watch this. I'll be right back.
We now have the mother back on with us. We were going to ask you about what you were saying to your boys. You were trying to keep them calm. Tell us about that conversation.
Yeah, I was on the phone to them and then trying to calm them down, saying, you know, the military is going to get there and they're safe and they're in their home. This is what we always tell them. And about 10 minutes later, I could hear people speaking in Arabic outside their door. And they broke in, and the last thing I heard was the youngest, who's 12, saying to them, "I'm too young, don't take me." And that was it. That was the last time I heard from them.
You know,
there's nobody on the planet who is going to go political at this point. There's nobody on the planet who is going to do anything but offer condolences to this wonderful woman, except Andrea Mitchell. My gosh.
You want them to be with people they know so that they're not alone there. But what are your feelings about the attacks against Gaza right now? How can the government...
I must say, look, you're looking for a symmetrical situation, and I must say it isn't. If you were dealing with a war who is between two countries, countries don't take children hostages. I'm sorry. It's against the laws of war. It's against humanity. It's against anything that we all believe in. Every time we had missiles shot at us, I used to say to my children that they should be sympathetic towards the children of Gaza because they suffer a lot more than they do. I'm not sure I still believe in it now. And I must say the only worry I have now from the bombings in Gaza is the fact that my children are there. I can't be sympathetic anymore. I can't be sympathetic to animal human beings. Well, they're not really human beings, who came into my house, broke everything, stole everything, took my children from their bedrooms and took them to the Gaza Strip. Israel never done that and will never do. So there is no symmetry. I'm sorry. We gave them work permits. We really believed that this was the way to move their economy, to reconnect these two so-called countries. This is not the way a country behaves. This is a way that a terror organization behaves. I'm sorry. So again, there's no symmetry. There will be time to rethink, there will be time to learn, there will be time to make conclusions. It's not now.
No pun intended, but definitely a bomb drop, mic drop. And you got to give it to her. But the fact that Andrea Mitchell sat there, she's so cold. Listen, I have people on my show that I disagree with often. But when somebody demonstrates that much humanity, if you can't reciprocate, you have no business talking to people. You have no business interviewing people in front of millions. Well, not millions. It's in MSNBC, hundreds of thousands, let's be honest. It makes me sick. But the narrative is that Jews don't deserve your pity. They don't deserve your mercy. They don't deserve at least your empathy, because that's the message going on all over college campuses. I'm going to try to break this down for you. This isn't going to be quick. It can't be. University of Virginia in my home state, the Students for Justice in Palestine, it's their symbol up there, said the following: in an unprecedented feat for the 21st century, resistance fighters in Gaza broke through the illegitimate border fence, took occupation soldiers hostage, and seized control of several Israeli settlements that are illegal under international law. This crap, this propaganda, it's lies. I can't even put the pictures up. I've already tried. I already got a strike, which means that if I put the pictures up of the dead children, of the women nude, running through the streets by their hair, being pulled by Hamas, I will lose my channel. All I can tell you is do the research yourself, look yourself. But college campuses are embracing this, pro-Hamas campuses. And it's not just the University of Virginia. It's in many different colleges. I'll show them to you now. Looking at University of Michigan, 508 professors complained about the president's support of Israel and Jewish people. All the signatures are here in these documents. University of Michigan professor Eric Gordon, go send him a nice message, will you? Tore down posters of kidnapped Israelis, some of them U.S. citizens being held in Gaza, on the campus, and did it with a smirk across his face. Watch this.
This is a moment of intense pain and grief for a great many people in our community and around the world. I feel that pain and grief myself. And our university embraces a commitment to free expression. That commitment extends even to views that many of us find objectionable, even outrageous. We do not punish or sanction people for expressing such views. But that is a far cry for endorsing them.
Israel. Thank you. Fuck Israel. No problem. Fuck Israel. Fuck you. Fuck.
This is the University of Washington, the Washington Huskies. And there was a pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas, which turned into a pro-Hamas rally where students came together. These scumbags are saying F Israel. And I pardon me for the language, because it does get pretty abrasive, but make homosexual reference to people who are Jewish, who are there, who are simply trying to get them to understand how horrible this is for everybody. But celebrating Hamas isn't the right choice. There are 4 Jewish American girls who are off to the side talking to a faculty member who are not allowed to move forward, who are not allowed to enter this area for fear of conflict and violence. Listen to that again. These are the campuses that believe in safe spaces and ensuring that speech is censored so people can feel comfortable in their indoctrination process. Listen to this.
You support killing civilians? You support the killing of innocent civilians?
Come on, seriously.
Really?
How do you guys represent?
You support the killing of innocent
You guys are all fucking gay, bro.
Here is the video of the young girls. And before we start this, I want to be really transparent. I have had to stand by and watch people desecrate a flag before outside of military bases and light it on fire. And everything in my soul said to save that flag and to physically get involved in altercations. I've had to stand by and watch men slap women in the face without the ability to do something because I was in uniform. Later in life, I didn't care so much about those things, but we all have to demonstrate restraint. And either we believe in free speech or we don't. But this is different. The left has said that it's different, that this is hate speech, and it qualifies as hate speech. But I'm going to explain to you why it doesn't against Jews. And this is open hatred. It's not going to be quick, but after this video, I'll explain a little bit about the numbers. We'll go to the nuts straight, and I'll break it down for you. Here is the rest of this altercation.
Allowed! They want our people dead! They want us killed!
And so part of it,
How is it allowed? How are you allowing this? Why are you putting us through this? They want us dead! Please end it, please!
This isn't about what happened on the weekend. Why can't they just go up there?
It's interesting to me how all these college campuses are saying, well, these pro-Palestine rallies have nothing to do with what happened. Right. They all planned them right around this time, and it was just happenstance. And wow, how amazing. We all know what this is about. And every person who's honest can tell you that this isn't right. But once again, if you take a look at the NAACP, you take a look at the ACLU, they have fought for the rights of racists to be able to say what they want to say, because speech, although sometimes we can't stand it and it brings bile to the roof of our mouth, like in this situation, this is speech. And I'm not going to sit here and join the leftists and say that hate speech doesn't qualify as free speech. Now, if you're going to threaten, if you're going to try to hurt and harm people, and if you make those threats, that's completely different. Nobody stops you or should stop you in this country from speaking. But there can be consequences for the speech that you demonstrate. I'm going to give you the nuts straight. And this is going to be a little bit longer than the other ones because this is where I take a minute and kind of recap and tell you my thoughts. But these are numbers you need to know, and these are topics we need to talk about. When it comes to the Jewish Americans and Israel people, and the Israeli people, we can look at ethnicity first and foremost. Because is it an ethnic issue? Well, hate crime data released last November by the FBI revealed that there were 2,391 black African-American victims of hate crimes, 1,032 Jewish victims, and 227 Muslim victims. Adjusting for the population of each group in 2019 and 2020, there were 43 million blacks in the United States, 7.5 million Jews, and 3.61 million Muslims. The hate crime victimization rates per 100,000 per capita of each group were 13.8% for Jews, 6.3% for Muslims, and 5.4% for blacks. Therefore, adjusted for population by group, American Jews were 2.6 times more likely than blacks to be victim of a hate crime in 2019 and 20, and 2.2 times more likely than a Muslim to be a hate crime victim. So now let's look at religion, because people try to separate, which we'll talk about in a second, the ethnicity of Jews and their religious beliefs. The FBI data on anti-religion hate crimes is even more apparently distorted. It reveals that of the 1,715 victims of anti-religious hate crimes in the U.S., 1,032 were indeed Jews. 60% of the total and 227 victims were Muslims, 13.2% of the total. Obviously, since more than half, 60.2%, of the anti-religious crimes in 2019 and 20 were against Jews, there were more anti-religious hate crimes against Jews in total, 1,032 to be exact, than incidents of hate crimes against all other religious groups combined, totaling 683. The FBI data also shows that there were more Jewish hate crimes of that 1,032 than the number of gay men and lesbians who were victims of hate crimes, totaling 1,003. Without any adjustments for population as well, there are 4.5 times more Jewish hate crime victims, 1,032, than Muslim victims, 227. We just covered that. Yet there are 33.7% more media reports on hate crimes against Muslims than news reports on hate crimes against Jews. That really begs the question, doesn't it? Based on hate crime victimization rates and the fact that Jews are so disproportionately targeted in hate crimes compared to blacks and Muslims, is it fair to say that hate crime against Jews are routinely underreported by the media relative to the reporting of hate crimes against blacks and Muslims? Are Jews a race? Because that's how we started this out, the ethnicity, overall religion. And the classification of Jews as a race is a complex and controversial topic. In the simplest of terms, Judaism is primarily a religion, but it also has cultural and ethnic aspects. Judaism as a religion. Judaism is one of the world's major monotheistic religions, and its followers are called Jews. It is based on a shared set of religious beliefs and practices, including the worship of one God, adherence to a body of religious texts such as the Torah, and observance of religious rituals. But what about the identity of Jews? Some Jews also identify as an ethnic or cultural group due to shared historical experiences, traditions, and heritage. This sense of Jewish identity is not based on race, but rather on shared cultural and historical ties. It's important to note that Jews can come from diverse racial backgrounds and geographic regions, and the concept of Jewish identity is multifaceted. It's encompassing religious, cultural, and historical elements. So whether Jews are considered a race is a matter of debate, and the answer depends on how one defines and interprets the concept of race. But is that really what matters when we get down to the nuts? The more important distinction isn't if Jews are a race, but if people are able to discern between ethnicity and religious beliefs when it comes to the persecution of Jews. Obviously, after 3,000 years of atrocities, it's safe to say the problem isn't the Jews' perception of who they are, but how the world perceives them that matters. It comes down to this simply. This is hard. This will get worse. The world is about to show their true colors and let their masks slip. I think you're going to be surprised at how many countries openly hate Jews, and nobody knows it better than the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Joseph. Folks, thanks so much for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show tonight. If you like the show, do me a favor, like, share, follow with some friends and family. If you would, you can join us live. Let's see, 8 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursday, we're on in the morning at 9 a.m. Stop by and see us, and remember to pick up the recorded shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Stop by the Don't Unfriend Me store at thedumbshow.com. Pick up some cool shirts, some hats, some coffee, and all that. I will see you tomorrow. Probably, because something's going to happen, as it always does. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Good night.